welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Carson. We are live here in Dallas at the FEM conference at UTD. Acronyms in the house. I see such notables as Sandy McKinney strolling by here. This is fantastic. What's up? Oh, we got Charles Beatty, friend of the show. We got Perch Peak Paul coming through with a Perchy. This is great. I see my guy Danny Herskowitz. They just let out. Get in the comments, hit that like button. We're gonna bring you a little taste of the FEM conference over here. What's up, Danny? Can I get a high five? How's it going, buddy? What's up, everybody? This is gonna be amazing. We've got Urshka Blagojevich joining us here. We got William Taylor. We got Susie Chapman. We've got Claire Tennant Skull. I mean, we've got some corporate. We got Mauricio Chavez from BD joining us today. Get in the comments. I want to know what questions, comments you have for everybody out there. Look, we got people already checking in. Richard checking in with us. Love you, Richard, over there in the UK. Appreciate you staying up super late. Urshka Blagojevich here from Alta Vita.
Hi
Marketing
there.
Director. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Get in that mic. Get in that mic. Get on, bite.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
And we have to thank you, too, because y'all are the platinum sponsor of this shindig. We couldn't shindig without you.
Yeah, that's right. It's our first year being global sponsors, platinum sponsors.
And why was it so important for y'all to be the platinum? So, I mean, the headline, the big time sponsor.
Yeah, so basically, FEM and Alta Vita go way back to the start of our company.
Wow.
And we have kind of grown together with the event. We have attended it every year. And after our Series A investment that came in December, we decided
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Series
you.
A, that's huge.
Yes.
Round of applause. Give them a virtual round of
Congrats
applause.
to Vivi and Carolina.
It's always cool to see private equity money, too, invested in our space as well. That's so reaffirming, you know?
So, yeah, we decided to go big this year and really support the community of global mobility.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I see your beautiful booth over here. Y'all can't see it at home, but we are surrounded by booths right now. The Alta Vita booths over there. We got a few others over here. We got some fabulous canapes over here. I don't know if I said that correctly or not. Hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. We got a pronunciation. We got a bar behind us. You probably see a bunch of people over here going to the bar. That's where I want to be right now.
Yeah, we're gonna go there after.
We're going there.
Yeah,
you're gonna beat me to it, I think. Leave something for me, okay?
I'll try. No promises.
No promises. What has been your impression so far of day one at the FEM conference?
Honestly, it's been great. We had 2 sessions today, one panel session and also an expert session where we presented how global mobility and business travel could unify and generate bigger cost savings when it comes to sourcing corporate accommodation.
I want to stop you. I want to touch on that, right?
Yeah,
because I think that's such an excellent point.
It is.
Because we talk about global mobility, oftentimes we think of relocations.
Yeah.
We think of permanent assignments, things like that. But business travel has to account for, 90%, 95% of global mobility, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Exactly.
And yet I feel like it's such an underrepresented or underserved, contingency or contingent of our market.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact they're keying in on that.
Yeah, actually we are doing some study and preparing a white paper that's coming out later this month, and interviewing global mobility managers as well as business travel managers and seeing, how is the structure within the companies. And we're noticing that they actually, in most cases, report to different business lines, and they do not collaborate as much as they should.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Again, you said because, they're using some of the same services.
Yes.
But they're operating in silos.
Exactly. So we're saying that if you work together, you have the volume and you have a bigger negotiating power when it comes to prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. So definitely download the ebook.
And there's so many things from like sustainability initiatives, DE&I, ESG initiatives, things like that are being rolled out corporately. Instead of addressing those in each individual silo, if you addressed it corporately, kind of almost like from a travel perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are it seems natural to me as you're describing it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems like there are a lot of hurdles to kind of breaking down these silos. Have you sensed a resistance to that in the marketplace, or how is it being received?
I mean, there's always a resistance to change. And at Alto Vita, what we do is we always try to challenge the status quo. We try to do things differently than the way things have always been done. So I agree with you. It is a challenge, but we're here. We're talking about it. We had a very well visited session, and the white paper is coming out later this month. So I think that the change makers in the industry are gonna listen and maybe take note.
I love that. And I want to talk about the way that you go about that from a marketing perspective, right? Because when we're trying to innovate, getting the word out, convincing people, winning those hearts and minds is oftentimes a really challenging, difficult feat. So I want to talk about that from a marketing standpoint. We got people checking in. I know it's late where you're at. Hit that like button if you're watching here. Shout out to Brittany Bogus. What's up, Brittany Bogus, formerly of Change Healthcare, now of United Healthcare. Rob Seitz checking in from Air Inc. Wicked Smart, now in Dallas, hanging out with Rob last night at the meetup.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Air Inc.
Yeah, really cool. Jillian guzzed on my team. Shouts to Jill. Scott Chapman, what's up, Chappie? He was hanging out with Josh last night over at the meetup as well. He says, good evening to all the Relo peeps at FEM. How's the day been? If you could use one word to sum up day one of the FEM conference, what would that word be?
I would say insightful.
Insightful?
Yes.
All right. I dig it. My word would be hopeful.
Ooh,
and I'll tell you
I
why
like
hopeful
that.
is my word.
I like that.
I'm hopeful for day two, but I'm also hopeful for the future.
Yeah.
Because we just got done watching some students here at UTD within the Global Mobility Club.
Yes.
Out of 60 student competitors, it came down to 3 teams, and we just watched them. And I voted.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see who won. So somebody's gonna have to tell me who won. If you're watching this right now and you know who won, put it in the comments, because I voted, but I didn't even get to see it. Was it team 4, team 7, team 9? But they were all super impressive. I'm so excited about the future.
Honestly, I'm glad you brought it up, because I don't know who said it today in the sessions, that majority of people in global mobility ended up in global mobility by chance.
Yeah.
And now we're actually, investing in young talent who are specializing in global mobility, which I think is great.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now seeing some intentionality.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't help but think the outcome's going to be a bit better with some intentionality. All of us just accidentally ended up here. They just let out a sign that said cocktails and canapes, and we showed up. But these students here are like kind of studying it formally. There's an academic rigor.
Yeah.
It's interesting when we get up as professionals and we speak at these things, it's a panel. It's kind of vague. It's like, oh, it'd be really nice if, we did this and this. When they get up, they're using statistics. They're using like research, longitudinal studies. There's so much more academic rigor when the students present.
That's true.
Like, honestly, I learned more from the student presentations than I learned from some of the professionals.
Yeah.
If you will.
I get it.
I'm just saying. These kids are smart, okay?
They're very smart.
I'm just saying. These kids are really smart. This is great.
They've been helping out all day, and they're super clever, really.
Yeah, and Richard Majewski said, I'd love to see that white paper. He's so excited about the white paper.
Definitely. We'll be posting on our LinkedIn in the coming weeks, so just keep an eye out.
Yeah, he's saying what we need as corporate housing sector is data. Yes, get in the comments. Let us know what you think the industry needs.
I'm glad he brought it up, data.
What do you think about data?
Yeah, we're organizing our annual innovation summit on June 8th in London. And we are actually rolling out our new product feature around data insights and reporting that's going to help global mobility managers do, better forecasting and planning in advance rather than just reacting to the situation in the market. So we're really excited about that. The whole summit is going to be around being smart. And
tell us about
data.
the summit. Go ahead and plug the summit that you got coming up.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, it's happening on June 8th in London.
How can people get involved? It's I went last year. I think it was last year. Yeah. Oh my gosh! I think it was at the Kew Gardens.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh!
Listen.
Beautiful.
This year we're doing it at the Sky Garden.
Sky Garden.
Yes. If you don't know the venue, Google it. It's in the Walkie Talkie building.
She said, "If you don't know the venue, Google it.
Yes, because it's just
The
impressive.
walkie-talkie
You
building,
need
which
to
is a famous
see.
building in London.
It is, yes. And this year we're also rolling this event out globally. So we're going to be doing one in Singapore in September and another one in New York in November later this year.
Oh, New
So
York,
if you can't
too.
make it to London, we're going to have other local ones.
But you should make it to London because it is fabulous.
To be honest, it's going to be the best and the biggest one. And the way you can get involved, there are many ways, but right now we have our focus groups open. So you can sign up for a focus group and help us shape the future of global mobility and data reporting.
When you say focus groups, what do you mean by that?
So our product director, Jamie, he is going to lead this session of focus groups, which means we're going to bring together global mobility leaders and business travel managers that want to participate in, bringing up innovative ideas and shaping our product.
So they're actually like coming to work, like you're going to put them to work, not just going to get to show up and talk and throw out some like kind of, pie in the sky. You're going to have to work.
It's going to be an online session for the focus group. So you just need to, join and become the part of the future, help us shape the future of global mobility. It's super exciting.
No, I love it because sometimes we come here and honestly, it's like kind of passive, right?
Yes, exactly.
We're here, we're kind of like listening, but maybe our mind's somewhere else. But like to think about the fact like, oh, now I'm actively engaged and I can like change the narrative and I can be a part of the solution.
Yeah.
That to me gets me excited.
It's really exciting. And I hope a lot of people sign up.
I love that approach. Honestly, I love that approach. Here, I'm just putting here in the comments here. If you've got questions for Urshka, for Altavita, for me about the FEM conference, put them in there.
Yeah.
Hit that like button as well. See Yasmin over here taking pictures as well. Hit that like button. Let everybody know we're live because we are on late. Here, we're going to put little questions. Put them in the comments. I want to know what y'all are thinking out there. We got Richard Majewski says those students are great. I've been telling the family about the AI app, which can fix household appliances. Amazing. Yeah, pretty amazing. Definitely. Richard's been watching. Richard's such a great fan of the show here. This is really great. I love what you're doing with the way that you're doing the thought leadership, the way that you're doing the collaboration stuff. I want to go back to the last question here. Just, when you talk about innovation and you talk about changing those minds, in the industry, right? From a marketing standpoint, how does one go about kind of, I hate to use the word disrupting because, people, it's kind of overused and sometimes has a negative connotation, but how do you go about like inserting yourself in an industry and say, hey, you know what, there's a different way to do this? Yeah.
So I think the most important thing to start with is thought leadership. So you need to create content that educates your target persona, in this case global mobility managers, and just show them that there is a better way to do things. Second is social proof, right? Everybody wants to see results, so you need to find those early adopters that are willing to take a chance on a new technology and just kind of work with you and help you improve the product and grow, and then you can share success stories. Like our biggest champion has been Kerwin.
Oh,
from
Kerwin's
HPE.
amazing.
Yeah, he's
shout
amazing.
Out to Kerwin Guillermo. Can somebody tag Kerwin in the comments right now?
He's been great, honestly.
I'm going to tag Kerwin right now.
Yeah, also we've been executing successful projects with them for the past years. And yeah, that's kind of how the word gets out. And honestly, it's in Altavita's DNA. Everything we do is different, it's bold, and it's just aiming to be better every time.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Urshka Blagojevic, Altavita Marketing Director. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've got William Taylor coming up next.
Hi.
Thank you so much. William Taylor, everybody. Can we get a big virtual applause for William Taylor?
What's going on, Ben? How are you today?
We might even get a real life applause.
Real life applause?
There's a lot of
What's
people
with all
that
these
are
people taking
mildly-
pictures right now?
There's a lot of people that are mildly interested right now. And
Mildly is like, that's kind of my MO right here.
Scoot on
What's
in
up,
here,
buddy?
buddy.
How are
It's
you?
so
How
good
was
to
your
see you.
day?
Honestly, any day with William Taylor in my life is a good day.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
It's so great to see
I
you
love
here. Got a chance to see you last night. We had a little meetup going on.
We did. That was nice. Thank you for organizing that, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly,
Nice
my team did. I was like, oh, we got a thing. All right, let's do this. Okay, I'm down.
Thank God you have a team, right,
Yeah,
man?
thank God.
I don't know how that. I don't know otherwise how you'd make this happen.
No, I don't. And
It's the magic
God,
behind the
look, half
scenes.
this good. You see the amount of money we got in cameras over here just to make.
This
maybe
is
look
impressive,
decent.
man. Yeah, you could retire on that equipment right there, man.
The more weight you gain,
Look at
the more
this
money you
team
gotta
back there.
spend on
Look at
cameras.
them. putting
Yeah.
stuff together.
I think they're
writing
eating
questions.
canapes. Are they?
They might,
Yeah.
they might
Hey,
be
Danny,
eating
can you
canapes.
like this? And get in the comments. Thanks so much.
Ease
Yeah,
off on the canapes.
this is how this works.
Save
over
me
here.
some. I'm just getting started here.
Man,
How was the day, buddy?
fireworks?
It
from
was
Williams.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
That
great.
was good, actually.
What was your
man.
favorite part?
I honestly love the student presentations at the end, man. The case studies.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were so passionate.
So
and
smart.
I have talked for years about the need to get the next generation of mobility leaders interested in mobility so that
Yes.
people do not just fall into it on a random day when they're
Because this is what you get when you just fall into it. You kind of just get what you
still
get. You know.
good people who love what they do, but the passion that those young students brought
Yes.
was really impressive, man. The ideas, the energy, I was blown away.
Kerwin
Loved it.
Guillermo, everybody. There you
What's
go.
up, Kerwin?
The man of
Kerwin,
the hour.
who's largely responsible for the whole UT Dallas program.
Kerwin is
Super
the
impressive, man.
the puppet master who pulls the strings around here.
I honestly would love to see this expand to other universities.
I think there's a huge opportunity. Imagine,
Totally,
you know, the university, Texas at Dallas competing against a university in Australia, competing against a university in London. I mean, this thing could be like bigger than the World Cup.
Let's do it, man. Right? We got all these kids in Dallas now for the robotics competition and the AI. Right? I don't know. I don't think we need to go to that age. We don't need like third graders talking mobility. But let's bring it into the business schools and to the HR management organizations, organizational development programs.
Global HR. Any global HR department could have a mobility club.
Why not, man? It's
The
a key
global
piece
business.
of what we do in HR, right?
It's the
Getting the right
intersectionality,
talent to the
global
right place.
HR, global business. There's
Super exciting, man. I love it.
I love it too. And you know what else I was impressed by? I was so impressed by the academic rigor of it all and
Totally.
the research.
I was
We get
like,
up
can
there
I,
and we just
can I
start
steal their
spewing
slides?
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, man, who put these slides together? I got to look into Canva or Slido or who was doing my slide. No, shout out to my marketing team. They do a great job.
There's a job open putting Williams' presentations together, and there's actually a job open giving them too. So if you want to,
you've seen my presentation. It's solid. Okay, it's an A- on a good day.
Oh my gosh, this is great, William. So fun, man.
Hey, brother, thank you for being a key part of this industry and driving all the growth and
thank you
love
for,
and love what you guys do. Love that you've got the conversation going, keeping people engaged. I've been a longtime fan.
Yeah, no, you're always a good friend, and thank you for always.
Will you
being
sign my
here.
chest later tonight after a few happy hour
Only
drinks?
with I need one of the fat Sharpies.
That's cool.
I need the chisel tip.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, the
Kinda
chisel. 'Cause
tickles.
I kind of do like a calligraphy style with it. It's my own thing, It's my signature thing.
Yeah, my family will think it's weird. They'll be like, "Is that permanent, Daddy? Is that your new tattoo?" And why does it say
we had a
Ben
bit of a
Cross?
ratings jump when William came on, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we doubled from 3 to 6 just now. Thank you to
I think
the
it's my
Taylor
entire
family.
Yeah, thanks to the Taylor family for
Thank you.
coming. Thank
You
you.
guys got
Love
the
you
memo.
guys. Love you
That's
guys. Do your homework tonight. Yeah,
I feel like you put a calendar invite. You guys use the G Suite, I'm assuming.
we do. We
Yeah,
do,
of course you do.
What else is going on?
You
Where are
know,
off to next,
I don't know. I think it's summertime, and I think we're gonna chill a little bit.
right?
You
There's
got
no,
anything? You got any conferences coming up? Where are you gonna be?
Man, I
Illustrious.
should be in Portland this week because I'm on the Portland Relo Council board.
I just saw
which
a
has their
backyard.
event.
I saw a
Yeah.
backyard photo from Vinny's house.
Oh man, I'm missing that. That's so fun. Anyway, I'm missing my Portland peeps right now. So shout out to the PRC. Puget Sound's coming up in a couple weeks. I might head up there to Seattle. Another great org on the West Coast. BAM is next week on the 11th.
You're gonna be a BAM.
I'll be a BAM, of course.
BAM.
It's gonna be a great session.
Honestly,
working session.
if I had any regrets domestically, it's that I don't. Well, it's Bud Light, and then I don't go to enough BAM,
it's
and then I don't go to enough BAM events.
You should come out to more BAM events.
I should.
Man.
You know what? I'm gonna challenge Josh Hyatt right now to a hot wing competition.
Do it,
Okay.
man. Let's.
But we're
mark
not
that
gonna go
down.
spice. We're gonna go volume.
Josh,
We're
if
gonna
you're
go volume
on,
of wings.
you're
Josh
gonna
is
go
not on.
volume. You're gonna go like a hot dog eating contest.
We're not
Maybe,
going. Yeah,
like,
it's quitting time on
5
the West
minutes.
Coast.
How
Josh
many-
ain't
how
on
many-
right now.
Yeah, it's what is
Yeah.
it? 3 p.m.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
Fast quit time.
He's at the golf course right now.
Scott doesn't pay
For sure.
overtime.
Definitely.
No,
Love the guy. Love the guy.
Love the guy. Love the guy. Love him.
All right, a wings.
is great.
Wings
we got
eating
some-
competition.
Yeah, wings eating.
We gonna get Mauricio in here?
Mauricio, you eat some chicken wings,
Hey,
buddy?
brother. Thank
William
you.
Taylor.
Love you,
Thank
my man.
Go
I'll talk to you
Warriors.
soon.
All right.
Go Warriors.
Let's go. Mauricio Chavez here. How are you doing? Mauricio from BD.
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks
the
for having
place
me
to
on the
be.
show. This is the place to be.
Yeah, man,
Dallas,
it's good to
Texas.
have you.
Absolutely. And this is your hometown, right?
Yeah, it's a home game for me.
Oh, wow.
That's why you got all the gear here.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's super easy for me. I don't need to go through.
Well, the conference has been
Customs
great.
or
I think we've seen, I know you've spoken, and they might have already spoken about a few points, but
Yeah, what was your favorite part? Yeah, give me the highlight.
you know, I really like the student section. I mean, last year we were at JFK
oh
in
yeah.
New York, and it was like the first post-COVID event. So it was very symbolic to be at JFK and like it's takeoff time, you know, like think
Mhm.
big, like
Mhm.
we're leaving the house. And now the theme this year is kind of education. We're at the University of Texas, Dallas. Beautiful campus here, great weather, being around students. You know, it's kind of like the next wave. So if the last wave was getting over that COVID hump, now it's the wave
We're
of
taking off,
yeah.
and now we're soaring into the
Yeah.
future.
the wave of the future.
The wave of the future at hypersonic speed. What's that? Yeah, we're on the air.
Yeah. Yes.
No, we're
Right.
not. If a tree falls in the forest
Worldwide.
and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. These are the questions we tackle here at the UTD.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Mauricio, besides the students piece, now you are also very involved with FEM. Give us just a little flavor of kind of some of maybe your favorite experiences here.
Well, I think FEM Claire running the panel makes a great job of putting the corporate professional at the centerpiece of the event.
Yeah.
I was speaking with some partners here from Vialto, and they'd been to some FEM conferences before, and they noted that. They told me, you know what, we as providers, as vendors, come to listen to you guys. You know what I mean? To see what you need, because a lot of the times our interaction with vendors is we're hearing from them, right? What are they doing in the market? What are they seeing? What are they offering? But this is really a space for us to say, hey, you know, we're drowning out here. We need this type of life vest, or we need that type of boat.
Which has got to be incredibly valuable to the supplier partners out there to hear, right?
Exactly.
Like, where is Mauricio drowning?
Yes, exactly.
We will build a boat.
Yes. And the spaces, I mean, between sessions, the networking breaks really serve to foment those relationships, right? Like the space is ideal and the timing is excellent.
You know, I do love that. I love the composition, the makeup here. It's very international. It's diverse. It's very corporate. It skews very corporate comparatively. How do we continue to engage our corporate partners? That's always the question, whether it be regional, you know, relocation councils, whether it be, you know, national, international. How do we get folks like you to show up?
I mean,
how do we make it compelling?
Well, we can make it in Miami or Las Vegas. No, I think for us as professionals, it's kind of our obligation to our vendors. We ask so much from our vendors, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, was the car delivered on time? What happened to this household goods? Is the reimbursements coming through? Why was a visa delayed? So how do we get ahead of that? I mean, remote only goes so far. Like, we owe it to you guys, or to the vendors, to come out, speak with you guys, give you the face-to-face, and give you that feedback up front. And also it allows, with the corporate roundtables, to really have that discussion live in real time, and just share those ideas and know what the market's doing.
Mauricio, I'm going to go off script here a little bit.
Sure.
I was talking to an auto shipper earlier.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, how you find it? He's like, great. But Mauricio just came up to me and said, are you the one that took my my transferee's car for a joyride?
Was that you? Was that you?
He's like, I don't think so. And then he's like furiously going through his emails. Oh, crap, it was us.
Something like that.
I mean, no, but it's always fun to get in the same room with people.
Yeah. You know, and we know those things happen. You know, we know. I mean, you can't control it. One time we had we brought somebody from Argentina to another country in Latin America, and he calls me and he tells me, hey, they stole the gold watches from my bags. And I said, well, why did you put gold watches in your luggage, in your shipment? And he said, well, my luggage that I took on the plane had my mother's china from like 100 years ago. I mean, it was one or the other. I said, okay, of course, you go looking out. Like, was it the movers? Was it the shippers? Turns out it was the customs agents.
The customs agent
customs
stole the
agent.
gold. How did you find that out? Because everybody blames the movers,
Yeah.
and the movers are never savvy enough to defend themselves,
Yeah.
frankly. So how did you find out it was the customs agent?
So when we did the digging and the asking, they needed to pay duties on them, fees, and declare them, and monetary value, and and we ended up getting the watches back. But if you don't ask, right, I'm sure those watches would have been lost, right?
So they held them because they hadn't been paid duty.
Yeah.
So they
Or
weren't
they weren't
pilfering
declared.
their shipment.
You never know. And just the recommendation in general: don't ship anything you don't want lost, right? High value. You never know what's going to happen.
How should one ship gold watches?
I mean, you could put about 4 of them on your wrist. Right?
Is that gonna arise suspicion at the airport?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was an interesting case, but I mean, you get through it, and again, that's why this event is so important, right?
That's
it gives
great.
us the time to interact,
reflect.
discuss, reflect, and find solutions for tomorrow.
What are you looking forward to most tomorrow?
Well, I heard there's going to be a super good panel presented by BD, so
Yeah,
everyone tune
a
in.
little plug.
A
What
little
time
plug.
is that?
I think it's at 9:55 a.m.
Ooh, all
Just
right.
around, yeah, so
A bold move.
it'll
All
be
right.
good. So we're going to talk
What are you
about
gonna talk about?
the vendor-client relationship.
Oh, there
And
you
how
go.
to be successful, how you need to trust each other. And I'm going to give you a little heads up.
I love it.
How it's starting tomorrow. I mean, you can't choose your family, but you can always choose your providers.
That's right.
So here
There
we
you go. I love it. Absolutely love it. Get in the comments, show some love to Mauricio, hit that like button. I think we've got Susie Chapman
Susie's
coming up.
Ben, thank you
Susie,
so much for the
Mauricio's
time. See
great
you
pleasure.
tomorrow.
Great pleasure. Take care. Susie Chapman, everybody, coming up here. Look at this. Susie, oh my gosh. So good to have you on.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, like a bucket list thing here going on here. So
Oh, whatever.
scoot in here. Let's get close to that mic
I
here.
feel like it's very
There we go.
intimidating.
It is. You know what? You just pretend it's not there. Nobody's listening. It's all good. Susie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
And it's Susie Chapman of FM Global now. Is that
FM
correct?
Global now. That's correct.
All right, good. I went out on a limb there. Make sure I had it right.
Yep,
Okay.
you did.
How are you finding the FEM conference?
So this is actually the first time I've attended as a corporate.
Oh, okay.
So it's great.
Yeah.
You know, as a vendor, you're here to just serving your client, right? But as a
Right.
corporate, I get to really lean in and experience.
What do you look for differently? Like, I know you said as a vendor, you're here to support your client, but what are you looking for as a corporate when you're here?
Ideas. So I think you probably know this. Most people know this about me that know me is what the thing that drives my commitment to this industry is connecting the industry to diversity and inclusion
Yeah.
and global sustainability.
Yeah.
And so I came looking for ideas so I can continue to advance that.
You know, you talk about DE&I, you talk about, inclusion. How can we incorporate that more in the global mobility space? How can we control that? What can we do?
I think that many companies, whether it's the program owners and the company they work for or the suppliers, have lost the connection that we are moving unique individual unicorns. And the way I think to get inclusion back into the industry or into the industry formally is to recognize each individual for the unicorn that they are and empower them to have an experience that fits their life.
Yeah, no, I think you bring up a great point there because, I mean, I'll tell you what, when I've moved a ton of people, and then when I move, it always feels different when it's my stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I realize how much, because I would never admit to treating people like a number,
People are
but then
treated
when
like
you
a
move,
number.
you realize you've been treating
You're
people like
just
a
a
number
number.
the whole time.
That's right.
How do we get away from that, treat people like a number? How do we humanize them and personalize them and treat them like the unicorns they deserve to be treated? Like, tactically speaking, like, how can we get away from treating them like a number?
So I'm going to forget the woman's name, but there was a session today on delighting your customers. And one of the things she talked about was the corporate building a relationship with the program owner or the program team, building a relationship with the person that's moving. And it's powerful stuff. I think when you move when you're a company that moves hundreds or thousands of people a year, it's really hard to do that.
Mm.
But even if you talk to some of your people and understand at the ground level what it feels like to move, develop an empathy for the stress of the experience, I think it changes the dynamic to where you really recognize the person as a human being. I've relocated 8 times
Wow.
in my career. My husband and I have done 6 of them together. And the joke that's not funny is it's tested my marriage 6 times. And so we've passed every test. Not everybody does, but really understanding that at the ground level, that's a personal experience that informs my ability to get up in the morning and go to work and perform.
Thank you for being honest and vulnerable about that, because I've also moved, half dozen times interstate, a dozen times if we count all the local moves too. And you're right, it does test your marriage, and mine weren't international assignments, but they were really stressful.
They're hard.
And did yours get easier or harder, or did it depend on the destination?
There's 2 things I think that have changed over time. One is I learned how to do it better. So I have a very diverse family, and there are requirements that we have of the community that we land in. And I bumped into the wrong community over and over and over again until I learned how to ask for what I needed. And so that collaboration with the program manager, with the real estate team, and the destination services team makes the difference. But being honest with them about all the things makes that work. But the other thing for me that's made it easier, and this is going to sound like a weird connection, but I used to take care of Kerwin Guillermo at HPE, and now I just get to call him friend.
Yep.
And he has helped me to really see in a clear way the impact that mobility has on the lives of the people that it touches. And so I've been able to turn that out on the lives of the people that I've moved, but I also looked at it in the mirror to use mobility to help really enhance my life rather than just test my marriage.
You talk about, and I sometimes I like to get into tactics here because it's actionable for people. You talk about asking for what you need and bumping into the wrong kind of communities. Here in the States, we have, RESPA laws and things like that with steering, and it's not allowed. And yet our transferees need us to guide them.
Yep.
So, it's a tough balance that we kind of walk the line between steering and guiding, right? And how do we as transferees ask for what we need in a way that's compliant, but also cares for our families?
Yeah. So part of how we as transferees ask for what we need is all of the suppliers need to create a safe space for that conversation to happen. And that's really the hard part. I once talked to a gentleman. I was relocating from Norwalk, Connecticut to San Francisco, who is gay and married to a man. And was the head of the diversity group at that company. He's very open and out and authentic and real. And yet he told me that he had to come out to his new employer. He had to come out to the relocation company. He had to come out to the real estate agency at destination. He had to come out to the destination provider. And so they created space for him to do it, but he had to do it over and over again. And it seems to me there's a better way to support him without him being put in a position, without all of the hims being put in a position to be able to be who they are without having to be forced into an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, that's a great illustration too. And I can't imagine how emotionally taxing that must be, and yeah, it's a great reminder. Thank you, Susie Chapman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We're gonna welcome Claire Tennant-Skull here, the master of ceremonies, the woman of the hour, the brains behind the operation here.
Well,
I can't say enough about all the work you and your team have done here, Claire. How are you feeling right now? End of day 1. What are the emotions that you're experiencing right now?
I would say happiness, actually, because I'm just so thrilled to have seen the students flourish on the stage like that. I think it was a great way to end day 1, and I hope people understood why we're here now. Why we chose to. Yeah, I think
they do now. Yeah, they do now. I was in there. I voted. and then I had to come prep. I don't know who won.
Oh,
Would you like to give me maybe the good news, if you recall?
Yes, it was Team 4. So
Oh, that's
it
who I
was a
voted
team of
for.
2. Yeah,
They were all amazing. They were all amazing.
They were absolutely
Super
amazing.
impressive. Frankly, better than most of the presentation I've ever given in my life. You
It's
know,
quite scary,
and
actually.
far better researched than anything I've ever put out
Very
there.
thorough.
Right?
Yes, yes. No, I think they were terrific. I didn't vote, and I was very glad I wasn't doing it, because I would have found it very hard. And I was saying to someone that I hope, that enthusiasm and confidence doesn't get knocked out of them once they get into the corporate world, because I think they have so much to offer. And as you say, they researched their subjects really well. They were so confident in the way that they handled questions and everything else. Really, really impressive.
A lot of poise. That
Yes.
was the thing that I was so impressed
Really
with.
good word. Yeah.
The poise that they had. I mean, I remember somebody asked a question basically that says, yeah, but could this be a negative or something to that
Yes.
effect, right? And she said, great question, because it was valid, right?
Yes.
And she came back and provided an excellent answer.
Yes.
And it provided nuance to the situation.
Yes.
And I was just like,
Yes.
wow.
I know.
And you talk about going into corporate America, and I have to believe that is going to be far harder than anything they encounter in the next few years of corporate America,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because I mean, that's a room full of people who are all expert on the topic
Yes, that's true.
and who
That's
all have their
true.
own decades-long opinions they've formed.
Yes, yes, that's very true. But I think also one of the things that I love about our events is that I feel that the audience very much forms a community, and it's a very supportive, collaborative atmosphere. So they were coming into, in front of an audience who wanted to support them, who wanted wanted the best for them.
Yes.
It's not a kind of. I think that's one of the things I know. We don't. I'm sorry, Ben. We don't allow filming during the sessions, things like. But it's because we want people to be able to speak really freely. Air their difficulties, find some solutions amongst their peers, and feel that there's a sort of warmth there, a support for them. So it's I've really enjoyed today.
Well, I've enjoyed today too, and this has been my first FEM event.
I can't believe it's your
I can't
first.
believe it either.
I hope it's not
I've
gonna
been
be your
wanting to
last.
come for years, and now we've made it happen.
Yes. So
And
you've got to come every year now.
The vibe is, I plan to. The vibe is different. It's very collaborative. It's very international. It's very even though this is the Americas, it's very international. It's very multicultural. It's very corporate driven, which I like as well, because the voice of the customer is very present here, which I love. So I'm very impressed with it. Love the tone of the conversation. Just great. Really well done.
Thank you. Well, we have some terrific speakers and, some great content, and people work really hard on their presentations, and it shows, because they care. And I think, it's not just about the sessions. It's also the networking that happens, outside of that. And
Agreed.
those sort of incidental conversations, kind of lucky ones that you have with somebody. And
Serendipitous.
You just think, actually, exactly.
Yes.
Much better. Much better word.
And speaking of serendipity, these serendipitous moments seem to happen even more frequently when there's a little bit of vino involved, and we have a bar behind us to facilitate the serendipity.
Yes.
Yeah, to have the serendipity flow.
Yes.
Now, before we let you go here, we have Kerwin Guillermo on deck. I see him. I'm gonna make him. I'm gonna make him get over here. Before we let you go and we bring Kerwin on, though, what are you most excited about tomorrow? But besides the Emmas and besides the lovely dinner, what are you most excited about tomorrow?
Just, I can't possibly tell you everything. I'm always excited for the panels because I chair those and I've done the preparation of the speakers. So I kind of know all the amazing things that we'll be able to talk about. So I can't help but look forward to those. But equally, I love the other sessions that I haven't seen yet. And Grant Herbert's sessions, he flew all the way from Australia here, had a terrible journey. But, he also gives people something in terms of polishing up their professional skills and so on. So hopefully they come away with something that's good for their team and their company, but also for themselves.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to checking those sessions out tomorrow.
Super. Yeah.
And this has been fantastic. And Can't wait to maybe hit those canapes
I know
over there.
they're
You know,
calling me.
I see everybody eating over there. There's Aaron Flores. Claire, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
allowing us to
Ben.
be here.
Thank you.
This
Not
is
at all.
great.
Great
And
to
we have Kerwin Guillermo
Yes,
coming up here.
righto.
Yes.
Thank
Without
you.
further
Thank you,
ado, the man of the hour, whom I haven't had the opportunity to talk to face.
I don't know
far
what I
too
have
long.
to do to be able to get an invite to be on your show.
Kerwin and I are like pen pals. We're like best friends from around the world, and we never get to see each other face to face. Even when we're in the same city, you know, things happen, ships pass in the night.
So what do I need to do to be able to get an invite to be back on this show? I always have to come in with somebody else, and I'll be there +1.
No, Kerwin. Okay, first of all, you're way too humble and magnanimous, and you always give the stage to other people. I would always have you on. I'd have you on monthly or quarterly if I could. Okay.
The last time
But you
I
wouldn't
was
hear of
on, you left me on air multiple times. Multiple times.
I needed a Wi-Fi extender. Okay, this was early COVID. All right, nobody knew how to use the internet in their homes. Okay,
But we'll do it
support-
again, and we'll do it
Yes.
properly, okay?
I left this poor man for probably 8 minutes of dead air. And while I ran downstairs into my basement, I turned off my router, I booted it back up, I went back on, I waited for it to turn, I reconnect, I got back, and he was still there. And I think you might have been telling jokes or something. And I apologize to you, sir.
I tried to
My
multitask,
friend.
could not. We'll do this properly. But thank you for coming here. Thank you for doing this live webcast here.
Yes.
There's a lot to celebrate, a lot of energy in this building, in this summit. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being such a great advocate for us and for FEM and for putting us together. Frankly, I just feel very blessed to have this opportunity to be here. This is my first FEM event. So thank you so much for making it happen, and for us to be here in this kind of a way is tremendous. I want to ask you, I talked to my father today on the way over here. Okay. And by the way, your speech about your father last year, we're not even gonna go there. Okay, people, it was amazing. We talked about it already on the show. It's on LinkedIn. Go check it out, find it. But I was talking to my dad as I was coming here, and I said, Dad, I'm going to UTD for a big international conference. And he said, UTD, because he graduated from University of Texas at Arlington, UTA, which is also where Hiba Anver is from, who spoke earlier as well. She's a big UTA fan. And I said, yeah, I'm going to UTD for a big international conference. He said, UTD? He said, now that's an interesting choice. I mean, I can't believe they would be able to pull such an amazing global conference there. Kerwin, how did this come about, and why was UTD the right choice to host the FEM conference?
A lot of the good stuff in the world happens when like-minded individuals, mission-led individuals and organizations come together. FEM is one of very few. Again, our traditional trade associations focus on revenue, focus on the traditional stuff. FEM, mission-led, content-forward. So the pitch was made so easy. Claire, again, interested, made early commitments. Coming back to UTD, so we did this tour back in November. Being able to negotiate with UTD. UTD is not one entity. We had to deal with different colleges, different offices, different buildings are owned by different groups, different approvals. It wasn't an easy undertaking, but what makes everything easy is when there's convergence of mission and purpose, and that's what made everything possible.
Well, I think you are the ultimate embodiment of the convergence of mission and purpose, because when Kerwin calls and says, I've got an idea, you're like, all right, man, I don't even need to know what it is. Sign me up. I'm in, because I mean, that's how much people trust you and have faith in you and your vision. And I just applaud it so much.
Thank you. Again, it's the culture of our global mobility community. I've grown up here. The community has been very generous. I've been mentored by individuals with high level of integrity, values-based, and it becomes easy to operate and function that way within our community.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, where do you find the
But by the way,
energy?
that's the core of the mission of Love and Relo. That conversation we had at the lobby of the hotel, being interested, what's Love and Relo? You described it to me, and then it became easy for us to come together many years after, and you've gone again. done a lot, gone a long ways, a lot of success. So that's what love and reload
It's-
and compassion.
We have
happens.
one of the heads. We have one of the heads of the departments here. We're on a live stream here, but I'll catch up with you later. It's so good to see you. One of the heads of the Jindal School of Management is here. I've become so involved here at UTD through my partnership with Hubert, due to our introduction from you, and now I'm involved with the sustainability initiative as well. The summit I've judged that now 2 years in a row. I'm involved as a sponsor of the sales school as well. I can't get enough of this academic environment.
That's what you do, and that's what the world reciprocates to you back. You're a major connector in this industry. That's what happens.
Well, I want to say thank you to you, because you are that person, one of those people in my life, one of those few people in my life that I think holds me accountable and keeps me honest and makes sure that I'm staying on mission. So even when I get a little off mission, I get distracted, or I get a little full of myself maybe, Kerwin will send me a message and say, listen, you make sure it's about the people and about the love and giving back.
I can do that with so many. It wouldn't be as effective. You listen, you're open-minded, and you care about purpose and mission. And that's your core. That's why it works.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I mean, yeah, it's really beautiful. And you know what I love seeing too is, and I love seeing you do this from so far away too, but you've also been able to not only mentor some of these young people in this program, but you've actually gone on to make them parts of your team.
It's again, it's coming from the same mission, figuring out ways, being creative, and everybody just needs a break. I was on stage earlier. I was talking about you have to try before you can triumph, and that's the story of everybody.
Yeah.
Whether it's a provider trying to get your business, you go through the whole governance and mess of doing an RFP, but sometimes they just need a break. Give them an opportunity to compete for your business, and then they win, then they triumph, then they earn the next steps. And that's what the students have done. That's what everybody should be doing. It's simple stuff. You have to try before you triumph.
You have to try before you triumph. I love that saying. And you know what else you taught me, Kerwin? You taught me to play to win. That's a big, it's a favorite book of you. You sent me that book, Play to Win. I thought about that. I thought of you also last night. I was talking to some of my team members, and, you know, they go to extraordinary lengths to please our clients, right? And sometimes they're told in their life that they're trying too hard or they're doing too much. And I said, don't let people who aren't doing enough tell you that you're doing too much. And you're one of those people that some might say, oh, Kerwin's doing too much, just like you say, I'm doing too much. But you can't let those people get in your way.
What I've learned, and I've had this conversation recently, telling people again, doing too much, I would tolerate that, indulge that. It's always easier to learn to scale it back, to restraint, than to ask people to go farther. Going farther and then slowing down later on, easier than not going far enough.
Yeah, I would agree. I would encourage anybody out there, if you're thinking about doing something, you know, great or grand, you know, making a grand, just go and do it. You know, just go try so that you can triumph, because you can't triumph without the try.
Plus, again, we belong in a community where everybody's generous. I've benefited from so many others who've given me their time, mentorship, etc. And you just have to ask for help.
Yeah.
Asking for time with Ben to go look at some of my stuff. Asking for Ben to give me some airtime.
Yeah.
It works. Ask for help. I will keep giving you a hard time until that happens.
You can always give me a hard time. Hey, Adam, super producer Adam. So this is our producer, super producer Adam. We need to book Kerwin as soon as possible so we can talk about purpose-driven, mission-driven stuff, okay? And we're going to make it a series. I don't know, he might have jet lag next week. We're going to make it a series probably on this too as well. You know, where do you see opportunities? You know, I just want to pick your brain here for a second while I have you, because I know, you know, you're a pretty popular guy. If I let you go, I may not see you again. Where do you see opportunities for people like yourself, people like myself, to get in and make a further impact in our industry?
It's not difficult to spot opportunities. Simple stuff. I like the mobility for good aspect. So you get awareness, whether a mission of somebody else, what they're doing. I got acquainted with Talent Beyond Boundaries. They were featured and spotlighted today.
I loved it.
A few years back, right at the start of pandemic, and again, making a difference, doing this, advancing that, just having that conversation, figuring out how we can collaborate. I always use that. How can we collaborate? What can we do together? And one conversation leads to the next. It's really a matter of just being open and be connecting. I'm again, current example. I am reaching out. There's an organization that's fairly new, and I will be endorsing them to you. Shameless ask and plug right now.
He knows I'm always open.
Truckers Against Trafficking.
Oh yeah, I've had her on the show.
Not
I'll have her on again.
Not enough. We need
Not
to
enough.
get more corporates
All
to
right,
come in.
all right.
We can make a difference. Collective, easy stuff. Nothing major. You don't need to do an RFP. Every time you get to work with your movers, truckers, all of those household goods providers, start asking them, give them a chance, allow them to be able to share with you some capability, some content, to be able to share with trucking companies that they send their business to. Then whether we make a difference for some victim or not, you are building capability not just for your organization. Maybe they're not involved, but those same truckers will be supporting and getting across some of those individuals later on. So it's like that. It's working with Talent Beyond Boundaries, and that was a simple conversation that started with, again, what help do you need? At the time when I met with them, small organization, and they just need, how can I prep refugees?
Yeah.
Start of pandemic, a lot of recruiters slowed down, no jobs, no nothing.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
we
I know.
started using their time to be able to practice interview with refugees. And hopefully that makes a difference. Reviewing their resumes, practicing interviews with them that's industry specific. That makes a difference.
Great.
That's just like volunteer hours from university being applied towards real stuff.
I think what you're illustrating here is that no matter what time, talent, treasure you have, there's always an opportunity to apply it in a way. You just have to have the unction to do so and that inclination. And if you don't know how to apply it, find a creative brain like Kerwin's and he'll tell you where to plug it in.
Focus on what you can control. That's what I've learned throughout the pandemic. A lot of bad stuff was happening. I was going through some stuff, went through some classes and books. And the key lesson is focus on what you can control. Everything else will take care of itself. Whether you're trying to figure out how to get a seat at the table, you don't wait for an invite. You don't hope for buy-in here and there. Figure out what you can control, and then you get to control a little bit of your destiny instead of waiting for things to happen. Not productive at all.
Yeah. Great words here from Kerwin Guillermo, head of mobility, HPE. How long are you in the States for, Kerwin?
1 more week. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff next week in Houston.
Houston.
Yes,
You got some
Houston.
team in Houston.
Yes, and I was in Houston last week. We hosted some roundtables, really fun, cool stuff. Got to meet with Chevron, Baker Hughes, Cognizant. Because of that meeting, they decided to come over to FEM.
Oh,
UTD.
nice.
So looking forward again, engaging with the community. When I was starting, I didn't know mobility. I know mobility. I was preparing, auditioning for my role.
Yeah.
Every time I'd go to the US, I'd go to somebody else to meet up and ask them, interview them, but privately, not the way you do that.
Yeah.
Challenges, aspirations, etc., etc. So I've benefited from mobility leaders from Bank of America, J&J. I went to the Google office. I'd go to whoever would care to listen and give me their time.
That's interview prep
for me to be able to learn and be prepared, and that's something that I kept doing throughout my mobility years, and now I'm paying it forward, offering my time to others.
I love it. Well, you always do that. You've been a blessing to so many people in this industry, Kerwin. You are never stopped by. There's no obstacle that I've seen get in your way. The fact that this is happening right now here is an enormous testament to your vision, but also how many people believe in your vision. Because it took a lot of people to come together and believe in this.
Absolutely. But again, you just need to be that spark. And when your intentions are good, it becomes easy for people to just follow.
Yeah, that's the key too. And your intentions are good. And it's easier to do things for other people than to do them for yourself. And if you want to be successful, make someone else successful. So a real shortcut and kind of a life hack to becoming successful is doing things for others, making other people successful, and giving more than you take. If you do those three things, you're going to find your ship rising with the tide.
Totally.
Yeah. Kerwin, we can talk for hours, and we will. Adam's going to get Kerwin back on again. I promise you. It's my guarantee.
For
Soon.
everybody else watching this, let's help hold Ben accountable
Hold me
to
accountable.
that. Please.
I'm accountable. Yes. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. We will see you tomorrow before the Emmas, the awards dinner, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. Super, super late in the UK, Richard. So get some rest. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.